Coronation cost. King Charles's coronation is coming, and boy, is it going to be expensive. Much more than you'd imagine. Everyone is anticipating the cost of the coronation on May the 6th, especially as it comes at a troubling time for the country. Earlier this year, King Charles expressed that he wants a smaller-scale coronation than his mother had. And with Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, that was estimated at £1.57 million. Everyone was expecting to hear some reasonable budget for this year's event. But it seems that King Charles had changed his mind and decided to make his coronation insanely expensive. And the government is paying for it, funded by taxpayers' money. So how much would the coronation cost? And will the public let such an extravagant event happen in the middle of the living crisis cost? Are the claimed benefits of the coronation even real? We'll reveal it all in this video. All it takes is smacking that subscribe button. This will make us as happy as Charles on May the 6th. Let's get started. Technically, King Charles was not lying about scaling down his ceremony in comparison with the one his mother had in 1953. During the Queen Elizabeth ceremony, stands were erected in Westminster Abbey by allowing a whopping 8,000 people to attend the 3-hour-long service. Charles's coronation will be limited to 2,000 guests and is expected to run for only 2 hours. Still, and according to the Operation Golden Orb Committee, who's in charge of planning the ceremony, Charles's scaled-down ceremony will cost around £100 million. £100 million, which is 60 times the cost of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, which was once again estimated to be just £1.57 million. It seems that His Majesty was talking about scaling down the number of invitees, and not the budget. And against such an astronomical figure, in such tough times, the public is raising an eyebrow. Critics have slammed the projected expense, arguing that it's unnecessary and that the monarchy should be focusing on being financially responsible in light of the current cost of living crisis in the UK. Graham Smith, chief executive of the political organization Republic, has claimed that the coronation is completely unnecessary and constitutionally nor legally required, given that the monarch has already officially ascended the throne. It's not actually necessary for the monarch to be crowned to become king, as was the case with Edward VIII. Charles automatically became king the moment his late mother died. But supporters of King Charles seem to have a different idea and believe that the ceremony would be beneficial. First, to the King's defense, the budget is not 60 times more than the Queen's ceremony. Technically, it's just double, since the £1.57 million that the Queen's coronation had cost is equivalent to £46 million in today's money. So Charles only doubled the cost with a quarter of the guests. But why? According to The Sun, the estimates for King Charles are as high as they are because of things like security, which wasn't such a big issue during Elizabeth's time. Another argument the supporters present is that the ceremony is going to be an attractive event that would translate positively on the country's economy. First, selling the ceremony's worldwide TV rights would more than cover its cost. Second, tourism would flourish because of the event. According to reports, hotels are already being booked out for the coronation weekend. And The Sun reports that a consultancy firm has estimated that the coronation will drive in an extra £1 billion for the UK economy. But there's a flip side to the economic benefits that the supporters are not talking about. According to a previous report by the Centre for Economics and Business Research, each UK bank holiday costs the country around £2.3 billion. So the ceremony, in some sense, will paralyze the economy. But whether Charles' ceremony will be beneficial or not, one should ask, why is the government paying for it? After all, the government doesn't usually pay for royal weddings and ceremonies. So what's so special about this one? Well, according to a government source, it's always been the case that the government has paid for coronations. The reason for doing so is that the sovereign is the head of the state, and it's important to mark that properly. It's right to celebrate this moment in the life of the country in an appropriate fashion, which will allow the nation to come together in celebration. The source continues that these are the moments that bring joy to millions of people. They also mark us out as a nation around the world. It's a marvelous moment in our history, and people would not want a dour scrimping and scraping. They would want an appropriate ceremony, and that is what they'll have. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. In contrast to financing the ceremony, the government will get to decide who is on the guest list, which will range from people in the royal family to representatives of the House of Parliament, the Commonwealth realms, and foreign heads of state. So to conclude, King Charles's coronation will cost around £100 million. If you're staggered by this number, wait until you see how much Charles makes. We'll give you a breakdown of Charles's wealth, income, and salary in the video appearing now on the screen. Watch the video to learn about how lucrative it is to be a monarch.